Needless to say, I'm on one of my vacations, and this time the venue of the vacation is Jibi. And I've spoken about Jibi earlier, and Jibi is a place in Himachal Pradesh, and I thought I'll do some introspection on why I don't talk about equities. I do talk about equities rather, but I am now today going to talk about why I don't talk about specific direct equities simply because I don't know you, not because I don't know that script. I don't know whether that what I don't know is whether it suits you to buy that share at this price and hold on for the next 10, 20, 30 years, whether you have that capacity, right? If I don't know that, then it is wrong for me to say I did it, you also do it, because I don't know whether your personality is the same as mine, whether your risk taking ability is the same as my risk taking ability. So having said that, let me tell you also what happens with equity is you keep changing your mind. Like I have shares which I have held for 30 40 years, but it doesn't mean that I will not sell them tomorrow, right? If I have, say, a Colgate which I bought maybe first time in 1977 and then later on added, I would have bought it as late as 2018 and sold it in 2020. I would have done all those kind of transactions. Is it right for me to say that you should buy Colgate and hold it for the rest of your life? I don't know. It's your life, right? Also, what happens is I can change my mind whenever I want, and I won't be able to. If I have told you that I have this share, am I telling you that I bought it at this price? I'm holding on for the last 40 years and I will not sell it for the next 40 years. Then, yes, I can. You can hold my neck and say, oh, you said this. But after having made a video saying I bought this X share in 1977 and I'm still holding, I love the dividends, and I'm not going to sell this share unless there is some super emergency. If what happens if I change my mind after 15 days? What happens if I change my mind after 1 year? Because I am giving you advice, something which is like permanent, right? For example, when I say start early, do compounding, the sun rises in the east, Jibi is a beautiful place. These are absolute statements, and absolute statements can be given to you. Also, what happens in equity is you keep changing some strategy, something else happens. For example, I held Hero Honda for a very long time, maybe 20, 23 years. And then when Honda parted ways, I reduced my stake and then I increased my stake when I believed that, yeah, the quality of governance will continue to remain the same. Then I developed cold feet on two-wheelers and I said, okay, let me get rid of two-wheelers. I got more into four-wheelers. So these kind of things will keep happening within the industry. You keep shifting within the, you exit some industries, right? You keep doing all these things. So it becomes very difficult to say, pick up this share, the PE is very good, it is very attractive, and when the PE goes up, you should sell, right? So these kind of strategies are very, very difficult to teach. I cannot teach them on video. At least I cannot teach them on video. I know there are some people who like to teach them on teach that on video, but I am not able to teach that on video. If I can't teach that on video, it is wrong for me to talk about it and leave you in the lurch after some time. So one, that second, I don't know how the regulator is going to look at people preaching on video, preaching on YouTube channels, saying this can be done and that can't be done, right? So it's very difficult to specifically say. I don't mind saying ICICI Prudential is a value discovery is a good fund in which I have invested since maybe 2002 or 2003, and I am still holding on. I have absolutely no problem in saying that. I may change my mind there also, but there I am saying I bought it, I am holding it, I like the performance, and therefore I am holding. You can then decide what you want to do, but I am not willing to say the same thing about equity, because equity I may change my mind much faster. If I sell value discovery, I'll tell you that I have sold value discovery. Then the assumption again is I bought value discovery in 2001 and I sold value discovery in 2024, which means when I am telling you that I am selling in 2024, you should also know that I bought it in 2001. Similarly, if you have not watched both the videos, suppose I've asked you to buy a next share and asking you to sell a next share, you didn't buy, and then you bought it later on, or you bought it at a different price, or you bought it with a different time horizon, right? Or you wanted to buy it for a completely different reason. You wanted to buy it for 3 months and I was buying it for 20 years, right? There is a difference. What is my problem in talking about equity is, equity investing is far 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 more about you, the investor, than about equity, the equity which I am going to talk about. For example, I can tell you, I walked into the forest, I saw a tiger, it was a small tiger cub, it came near me, it sniffed around my feet and then it went away, right? I stood still, it didn't do anything to me. That does not mean it will do nothing to you. The question is, if you panic, that tiger may panic. You may go to pet it, but it may think you're going to kill it, right? So, animals are scared of how you will react, so they will react in their self-defense. And let me tell you one thing, there are people who have done research and they know when a tiger sees a human being in the forest, it is 10 times as scared as you are about what you would do to it, right? So it will attack in self-defense and find that it was not very difficult to kill you, but it was not killing you. It does not look at you as food, it looks at you as threat. That is much worse, right? Because if it's not hungry, very unlikely that it will want to kill you, but if it sees you as a threat, it will want to kill you. Similarly, in equity investing, you don't know how the market is going to react, how that industry is going to react, how the company is going to react, and how you are going to react. Look at some of the biggest investors. Look at Warren Buffett. He's sitting on so much of cash. So if I tell you that I am sitting on 30% cash, are you going to do that, or are you going to say, nahi nahi, abhi to market bahut acha hai, let me put my house at stake, borrow money and buy? That is your behavior. Such a behavior of being a leveraged buyer. Like I say, let me continue the Colgate example. If I tell you that I have been holding Colgate for 40 years, you go and leverage and you buy Colgate, and then suddenly, slowly, the PE of the FMCG, especially the MNC FMCG, starts falling. This has happened in in other industries, right? So it starts falling slowly. The fall is from 40 to 39 to 38 to 37. Remember, all these companies are very high PE stocks. So when the PE falls, the fall could be dramatic and drastic. In such a cases, what will you do? How reactive will you be? Will you be reactive at all, or will you say, no, Subra has not asked me to sell? Because you don't know, maybe I put up a video which you didn't watch, or I put up a video in Hindi and you watch only English videos, right? Any of these things are possible. If my communication to you can't be complete, if I don't know you completely, I just cannot talk about direct equity. That is the problem. So don't come and ask that, oh, Yes Bank, is it worth buying at this price? I don't know. I don't know. I know about Yes Bank, but I don't know about you. If I don't know about you, I cannot do asset allocation for you. I cannot decide which mutual funds you should invest, which direct equity you should invest. It is impossible. For that, I need to be qualified as a RIA, Registered Investment Advisor. I need to sit with you. I need to talk to you, and I need to charge you a fee which my regulator thinks is reasonable, and I have to be accountable to you for that, and I don't want to do any of that stuff, right? So where is the question of my giving you advice online? And online advice is even worse, because I have no clue. I know one girl who had come to me who had some deep psychological problems, which I came to know by accidentally by talking to her, and that is very scary. I don't know, I say something, she understands it differently, right? You can't take, at least a professional can't take such chances of, I can make generic videos, what is asset allocation and what is compounding, and in the long term equity will do well. These are generic, but specifically company specific talk is impossible to do, right? So that is the reason why I don't talk about equities. I do equities, I don't talk about equity. I don't give equity advice. I mean, I don't mind if I know somebody very well, let's say I bought the share, I think it's worth buying, buy it off. But I'm not willing to do it as a profession. I used to do it. I used to be a broker at National Stock Exchange, right? So that was my profession. once upon a time. Today I am not at all equipped to give you advice, and that is the